All right, not quite sure how we got here or what the heck happened to Alex Jankowski, who did a great job out of the bullpen last night. But we are here. Your name is Adam Kaufman. I'm Emerson Lotzia. And what do you say? You and I sweat a little bit together, buddy. You've earned this.
Yeah, thanks. Good to see you. No, we're not going to get sweaty at all. But the show is called The Sweat. We're here with you for the next hour to talk sports. In particular, we're going to do football, at least right off the top, because finally, week 1 of the preseason, it has arrived. We have missed it. Good to be back.
Love football that doesn't count or really mean a damn thing.
Wins and losses do not care.
No, a whopping 11
Unless
games.
you have money on the line.
Yes, that's true. Which, yes, go to DK Sportsbook, please. Whopping 11 games, though, this evening. Our NFL panel is ready to help us break down the slate. Hello, DK Live's Jeff Ulrich, DK Live's Pierce Dietrich, Matt LaMarca from the Action Network.
Gentlemen, NFL take your pick time. Okay, rookie QB Drew Lock did not look so great in his Broncos debut a week ago, so actually, week 2 for him now. But the second rounder is likely going to see even more action in this next effort against the Seahawks tonight. Trace McSorley, another guy you could look at for the Ravens. He should get a lot of work with RG3's injury as well. He's facing the Jags, pride of Jacksonville right here. So who are you most interested in, Pierce?
It's going to be Trace McSorley for me, and I don't know if he's going to look good either, but this is a usage play. I feel like I'm playing NBA DFS here. I want the guy that's going to get the most, reps, and it looks like it's going to be McSorley. I'm not happy about facing the Jaguars, who have some pretty solid depth, and McSorley hasn't looked good in training camp, but how do you pass up on this usage? It's a lot like Russell Westbrook. He misses a lot of shots, but he takes a lot of shots, and he can get the points by, running around.
How about you, Jeff?
100% Trace McSorley for me. I mean, the reports have been okay. I mean, he's obviously clearly entrenched in the backup role now that Robert Griffin III is gone. And there's some people saying, he might push Robert Griffin out anyways. This is a player who fits very well in the scheme, the Lamar Jackson scheme. 12 rushing touchdowns his last year at college. He racked up the rushing touchdowns in college. It's a perfect fit for him in the Baltimore Ravens offense. I think you're going to see him run a lot tonight, take some shots like Pierce said. I think it's a great situation for preseason DFS. Drew Lock did not look good the first game. He's more of just a stand-in quarterback. McSorley is the upside play, 100% for me.
Matt, you going to make it a clean sweep? You locked in on McSorley or what?
Definitely McSorley here of these two options. He just has a really fantasy-friendly skill set. I mean, he's a very quality athlete for a quarterback. He was around 90th percentile in terms of SPARQ score. He ran a 4.57 at the combine. He had roughly 1,700 yards and 30 touchdowns on the ground in college. And he's going to have more opportunities, I think, than Locke. Joe Flacco should play tonight. This is the Broncos' second preseason game, so those starters should work in at least a little bit. And then you factor in the fact that Harbaugh typically coaches these preseason games to win. He has one of the best against the spread record amongst head coaches in the preseason. So I think that all this adds up to a pretty nice spot here for Trace.
Okay, sticking with quarterbacks here, Chad Kelly could see the field a lot with Andrew Luck out. Jacoby Brissett probably going to play just a quarter. Old friend of yours here in New England.
Very close.
Okay, or would you prefer Texan signal caller Joe Webb if A.J. McCarron can't go? Jeff?
Yeah, this one's a little bit closer for me. I've read some reports that Brissett might actually play up to a half, so it's always a little bit in flux. You don't know. He's definitely going to play a quarter. Chad Kelly, the thing with Joe Webb is Deshaun Watson's not going to play, and A.J. McCarron is out for the preseason. They just signed some dude off the street who might work in a little bit, but this is pretty much going to be Joe Webb's game. I don't necessarily love the efficiency through the air, but Joe Webb's going to pick up some yards with his feet, too. I don't think he's quite as explosive as McSorley, but we've seen him dominate preseason before. So Chad Kelly, interesting. I think, if you're making a stack with a random Indianapolis Colts receiver he's in play, but a cash game lineup, for sure it's got to be Joe Webb, just based on playing time.
Maddie, I just discovered, I guess he is the nephew of Jim Kelly.
Yeah, you just figured this out?
Yeah, I have the internet now.
Emerson prefers in-show research.
Oh, so he's like Jules.
Yeah, very similar.
Very similar, yeah. There he is, yeah. Good to see you, pal. No, we can't hear you. It doesn't matter.
I don't get to do many segments here with Jeff, so I'm going to take this opportunity to disagree with him.
Nice. Good.
I love Chad Kelly. The guy is the preseason GOAT. If you look back at what he did in the preseason last year, he was awesome. He racked up yardage. He was pretty efficient as a passer. Put the ball in the end zone a couple of times. I don't think Brissett is going to play the first half. I think it's more a first quarter for him, which leaves the rest of the quarters to Chad Kelly and third stringer there, Phillip Walker. So I think Kelly's the guy, and I actually like some of the Indianapolis pass-catching options to pair with him. Deion Kane is like a personal favorite of mine. I think he's going to play a lot, and I think he's a pretty good player. And then Mo Alley Cox should be a popular tight end. So I think if you want to stack up Chad Kelly with one of or both of those options, I think that's going to be a pretty strong play.
All right, Pierce, break the tie here.
Well, I don't disagree that Chad Kelly probably has more upside, but I'm going to go Joe Webb because he's much safer. We don't know for sure how much Chad Kelly's going to play, but we know that Joe Webb pretty much is going to play this entire game. Probably doesn't give you much, but again, I guess he's a veteran. He's, 32 years old. He's been around the league. He's, there's less question marks around Joe Webb than there are Trace McSorley, but he's going to be out there. He's facing a Green Bay team that doesn't really have a great defense, and maybe they've improved their defense a little bit, but how much is their depth chart really going to improve? He's going to face the second string. He's going to face the third string. I got to go with Joe Webb just out for safety reasons.
Guys, let's switch here to running backs. Rookie backs tend to see a lot of action in the preseason. Damian Harris, probably no exception for the Patriots in Detroit. There's Ty Johnson on the other side in that game for the Lions. And The Athletic actually reported that he's going to play a ton this preseason. I don't know how much of that is tonight, but specifically over the course of these four. So who are you taking, Matty?
Yeah, I like Ty Johnson quite a bit here. I mean, they've got Kerryon Johnson, who should start but not play much. Then C.J. Anderson and Zach Zenner. I don't think they really need to play either of those guys very much. We kind of know what they are. That leaves Johnson and then Mark Thompson as the two guys in the Detroit backfield that I think handled most of the opportunities. And Johnson is a pretty nice size-speed combo guy here. 4.45, 40-second dash. Sorry, not dance. He kind of fits that receiver, kick returner type mold as well. So I think that he's going to be pretty good. He averaged 7.6 yards per carry during his time at Maryland. So I'm interested to see what he can bring to the table, and I think he's going to have a pretty large workload here.
What do you think here, Pierce? You want to go with Harris or, the dancing machine?
I'm going to go with the dancing machine. I don't mind Harris. The reports are that he's going to get a lot of playing time following the scrimmage that they just had. The starters probably won't play much. But I like Todd Johnson just for his upside. But my philosophy here with running backs is, yeah, they get a lot of work, but there's a lot of them getting a lot of work, and really not very many individual running backs get a lot of reps. So the pass catching that Johnson offers absolutely helps. He's a speed back, and that's really what we're looking for. You're not going to get very many carries, so you need a home run on a specific play, and that's Ty Johnson's skill set. He's very fast. He can break one open. That's what we're looking for, a home run. And it's a preseason. The defenses aren't that sharp, so you can get that big play, and I think he gives you that potential.
Jeff, you on board as well?
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same as these other two. I mean, I like Damian Harris. I'm really interested to see both these guys play. Harris looks like a really good power back, but like Ty Johnson, just to give you an example, there's reports that some people were clocking him for his 40 at under 4.3 on his pro day. So it's unofficial, but yeah, this guy's got a lot of burst to go. And if he's going to play a lot in the preseason, there's a good chance he might see a long touchdown. So I really like Ty Johnson. I love the fact he's going to be playing. Matt hit it perfectly. The Lions don't need to see Kerryon Johnson or Zach Zenner play anymore. So I buy into this that Ty Johnson might get like a full half of work, which is a lot for a preseason back. He might even get more than that. So I like both of them. You could probably slot both of them in tonight, but if I was going to take one, it'd be Ty Johnson.
Pierce, people also seem to love the Bills' Devin Singletary out of FAU and the Chargers' Justin Jackson because obviously no Melvin Gordon. So who is the better pick here? Possibly Singletary, though, because hell, if Gordon doesn't show up, they may need Jackson to stay healthy, right?
It's the same thing with Singletary here as Ty Johnson. We're looking for a guy who can bust a big play. And both of them, the reports are they've been busting big plays in training camp. Now, it's training camp, but we've got to go with what we've got. He's not really a speed back, but if you read reports from Lane Kiffin, they said that's actually kind of a benefit to him. He's not very fast, and so he's had to develop a different skill set. He's very elusive. And again, that's what we're looking for, this home run type of play. There's a lot of buzz around Singletary that, he's obviously he was a higher draft pick and that he maybe not be in the starting role, but it's quite possible.
All right, Jeff, where are you going between these two?
It would have to be Singletary for me tonight. I just can't see the Chargers giving Justin Jackson that much run because, like you said, they might need he's essentially the starter or co-starter right now. So how much run are they really going to give him in preseason? Not that much. I think it's Devin Singletary for sure. He's got 2 veterans playing in front of him. I'm not as high on him as Ty Johnson, quite frankly, but he's definitely got some in a pretty good spot here. He should get some run, a lot of run in the first half. He's a decent back. I would take Singletary over Justin Jackson here for sure.
Maddie, sounds like reports out of camp Singletary, has earned a chance here to get considerable amount of snaps in the preseason. We already know what Frank Gore and all the other guys in that backfield can do.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with everything these guys said. I don't want to echo their points, but I will say that I think both guys from the last segment are better plays. I'll go with Singletary just because Jackson, again, is just too important to the Chargers right now. If he gets hurt, Melvin Gordon literally has them over a barrel. Yeah. So I think that they will limit his touches today.
Wait, not a lot of faith in Austin Eckler here?
Oh, I love Austin Eckler.
Okay.
I actually am. I'm team Austin Eckler is better than Melvin Gordon, but I still don't think he's a guy that you want to give 20 touches a game to.
Yeah, I don't think Melvin Gordon's a guy that they're going to give all those millions to either. So I think that's probably what we're going to be looking at. All right, we're going to be joined by you fellas again in a little while. Do me a favor, Maddie. Fix your lampshade. It's crooked, and it's just been bugging the crap out of me for 10 minutes.
Is the deodorant stick there? I can't remember.
Yeah, that's still there.
It's a staple.
And the crooked lampshade.
Got a backdrop.
Just fix
making fun of me, and
fix the lampshade. That's all I'm asking before we see you again. We got more NFL insights on the way. Matter of fact, right now with Pat Mayo, Tyler Sullivan, and Julian Edlow, and then Jules going to be right back with us for baseball talk.
Tyler Sullivan here with a Week 1 NFL preseason preview presented by Angel Has Fallen. The hero becomes the fugitive in the action-packed new film starring Gerard Butler, Morgan Freeman, and Jada Pinkett Smith in theaters August 23rd. I'm joined by Pat Mayo of the PME and DK Live's Julian Edlow. Guys, we all know this. The NFL preseason DFS, it's a little bit tricky. So what advice can you give someone playing this Week 1 slate, Julian?
In Week 1, if we even do see any starters, they're going to go a series, maybe 2. So you're definitely not playing any starters, even if they're in there. And we want to identify the guys that are, third, fourth string that are going to get a bulk, maybe play the whole second half of these games, rather than look at who's coming in on the early side.
Yeah, trying to project out how much playing time we're going to see here from the third and fourth stringers. You almost have to look at the teams that have very established number 1s and even number 2s to that extent. Week 1, the number 2s are going to get a lot of run if we get into a situation where it's very firm that this quarterback is the starter. There's no competition for his job. He's probably not going to see the field for more than 5 plays, so immediately go to the backup. They probably get a full half of work.
All right, so with that in mind now, how about a favorite pick for that Week 1 preseason slate, Pat?
All right, I'm going to go under that mantra. Andrew Luck, he's already dinged up with this calf injury. He is the starter in Indianapolis, presumably. That's where we're going to go with this. So Jacoby Brissett becomes a very interesting option that we might end up having here because he's going to get his full run for the first quarter, probably play from 5 minutes in the first quarter all the way through the first half, and he has that rushing upside that we always love to target as it pertains to DraftKings as well.
I'm going to go with Javon Wims here, wide receiver for the Bears. Wide receiver's been a problem position for the Bears for a while, and they keep looking for guys, and Wims is a guy that they believe in, but they're going to need to see it on the field before they can trust him. He did have 4 grabs for 32 yards in Week 17 of the regular season last year, a meaningless game to the Bears, but that's kind of a good spot to look for projections for the next preseason. So if this is a guy that Chicago trusted to get out there in Week 17, it's a guy that they're going to look to feed in the preseason and kind of see what kind of receiver they have here.
All right, guys, thank you. That'll do it for this Week 1 NFL preseason preview presented by Angel Has Fallen. Hero becomes the fugitive in his action-packed new film starring Gerard Butler, Morgan Freeman, and Jada Pinkett Smith in theaters August 23rd.
What is that?
They're drones! They're drones!
Get the president in the water!
How long after this last concussion did the migraine start?
Pretty much right away. So we're going under. Dive deep.
You need to be a lot more careful.
Agent Banning is charged with the attempted murder of the President of the United States.
You said it was from a car accident?
Yeah.
What line of work you in?
Computer sales?
A statewide manhunt is underway.
Mike?
You okay?
What's going on?
There's somebody else behind us. It wasn't me.
I just want you to come home safe.
I love you. almost blew me up.
You're welcome.
You can't hide from us.
Don't worry about finding me. I'll find you.
That looks really good. I like anything with Morgan Freeman.
And I'm pretty much into and he's in so many things.
Yes.
It's not like Samuel L. Jackson, he's in everything.
Yeah.
But he's in a lot.
And Morgan Freeman is like one of those guys who's been like 80 years old for like 40 years.
Well, it's because I don't even think he was a popular actor until he was like 60.
Yeah. They're like, you
Butler's
would play a
terrific,
really
too.
good old guy.
Is this our movie review segment I've been
I
waiting
think
for?
so.
This
Yeah,
Morgan Freeman talk isn't going to win anyone money.
Okay.
Well, I bet there are ways on the
sportsbook
you can place a bet, maybe.
Anyway,
Let's go.
Okay, all right, you got it. Hey,
Like,
Jules.
we didn't just hear from Jules enough.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and skip over Jules and just talk to Gary and Thorne and James McCool here.
Nice costume change, by the way.
We are going to talk some baseball and not movies.
Well, maybe, but all right. Well, I guess we could dive in. First one here.
Chase or fade. This is Chase or fade.
Is that what we're doing?
All right.
The Red Sox, big favorites tonight at home against the Angels, guys. Minus 235. And they're due, it feels like. It's felt that way for a while. Chris Sale's on the mound. He's 6-0, an ERA just over 1 in his career against LA, but he has not been that guy this year. He has unequivocally sucked. So last couple starts in particular, 8 last time out against the Yankees. So Garion, I choose you first because I know you don't like the Sox. Chase or fade Boston as the underdog in this game?
This question didn't make sense until I found out you were hosting, and then it made perfect sense. You're the only person in the world who could see the Red Sox as the underdog in a game against an Angels team that has lost 6 games in a row. This game is in Boston.
What makes you think I write these questions?
Chris Sale is starting this game against Dylan Peters. I wouldn't bet the Red Sox at minus 235, but they are not, by any stretch of the imagination, the underdog in this contest. No, I am fading this as hard as you can fade anything.
James, are you as demonstrative with your take?
Yeah, I mean, if there was like a better word for fade, if there was a stronger word for fade, I would use it. I mean, like, just fade that take into the abyss. The Red Sox should absolutely be favorites here. Even if Chris Sale has not been great, his peripherals have still stayed really, really strong. He still has a Sierra well under 4. He's still striking out over 13 batters per 9. He's still doing really, really good Chris Sale things. You can't really ding him for 8 runs against the Yankees team that's put up 58 runs in August. So, I mean, this is a position where, yeah, I probably am more with Garion here, where I'm not going to bet the Red Sox because I don't think that that's what I want to do today. But, I mean, I'm not going to bet the Angels either. You know, I'd rather just fade this entire game and just take the Red Sox DFS and just call it good.
Jules, are you like these two guys and you just want to fade this question entirely?
I mean, the Red Sox are never going to be underdogs at home with Chris Sale on the mound. That would be ridiculous. But that said, in my best bets article this morning, I did write up the Angels at plus 210. Chris Sale's lost 5, or the Red Sox have lost 5 of Chris Sale's last 7 starts. He has an ERA north of 7 over that span. He's lost games this year to the likes of the Blue Jays, the Tigers, the White Sox. I wish the Angels were a little bit hotter coming into this game because they've been pretty bad themselves. But at this point, just the way Chris Sale's been, anybody over plus 200, I think is worth a look on the money line. But to answer the question, no, the Red Sox should definitely not be underdogs here. Otherwise, I would be taking them at plus money.
I am glad he answered the question.
Me too. This game that we're about to talk about was not in your article, Julian. Please work harder. Cole Hamels and Alex Wood will square off in the Cubs-Reds game. Pretty good matchup here. The over-under, James, 9.5 runs. So chase or fade, the game being a pitcher's duel here. Therefore, the under's pretty easy.
I don't think that the under is easy here. Alex Wood has kind of outperformed his peripherals a bit. He's not really somebody that's striking out a lot of people, and he does have a Sierra of 4.76 over the last month. The Reds do have a good bullpen, and the Cubs also have a pretty decent bullpen. It's not great, but I think they can probably hold a lead if they get it. But I don't think this is an easy under by any means. I mean, both these teams can definitely get to pitchers. There's a lot of power on either side of this. The Cubs especially, I think, are in a good spot to go over their personal team total. So I wouldn't say that it's an easy under, but it's kind of fringy. Like, if I had to take one bet today, it would not be the over on this game.
Okay, which way are you going to go here, Jules?
Yeah, I mean, as Action Matt pointed out, since this was not in my article, I obviously just researched it now and I'm seeing the numbers.
I'm doing the same thing.
Cole Hamels has his last 4 starts either been at this number or under it. Alex Wood, both of his outings this year have gone under this number, but obviously that's way too small of a sample size. I guess my lean would be under here, given the way these teams have been going. But the Reds have had a hotter offense since the All-Star break. In all honesty, this would just be a stay-away spot for me. But if you made me make a play, I would go with the under here.
Okay, you got to make a play here, Gary. And which way you going? Totals hit the under in 6 of the Cubs' last 7 road games.
Yeah, there are some trends that do dictate the under is going to get hit here. You mentioned Juan Emerson. Hamels' last 7 starts, which is kind of a strange metric considering he's been on the IL, but still, his last 7 starts have all gone under as well. So I think I'm sort of going to echo what Julian and James were saying, where I will chase that I would, if I had to bet this game, take the under at 9.5 runs. But to say an under at Great American Ballpark in August is ever an easy under is just not true. But at the same time, these offenses have struggled against left-handed pitching. In terms of WOBA and WRC+, they're in the lower third of the league in those 2 categories. I would take the under, but I don't think it's as simple as maybe it's being laid out with the pitching matchup.
Guys, another good matchup on the mound, Madison Bumgarner and Aaron Nola. DK Sportsbook actually has both their strikeout totals set at 6.5, which is always kind of a tricky number. Mad Bum typically stays under this mark. Nola usually over. You can get plus money on both if you stay under, if you feel so inclined. Chase or fade, though, Bumgarner as the safest pick. Felix.
Yeah, again, nobody knows who you mean when you say Felix, but
well, if I say it every time, they will. Keep going.
Can you explain it?
I will. No, we don't have time for that. Just like we don't have Morgan Freeman time. I will chase that Madison Bumgarner going under is a little bit safer than Nola going over. Both of these teams, and the Giants and the Phillies, are right around league average in terms of how many times they strike out per game. And just if you go through Bumgarner's game log, like you said, he's been staying under this number more often than not. He had just 2 strikeouts in his last game against Colorado. You go through his game log, a lot of 6s and 7s. He had 6 strikeouts against the Mets, and he pitched all 9 innings in that game. So if Bumgarner can go that deep and not be able to eclipse this number, I think him going under is slightly safer than Nola going over here.
What do you think, Aaron?
I'm going to fade that. I think that Nola going over is the safer prop for me. He's done it in 7 of his last 9 starts. And if you look at the construct of the Giants lineup tonight, they've got 5 left-handed bats, 6 if you want to throw in Madison Bumgarner. And really throughout the entirety of the season, Aaron Nola has had a much easier time striking out left-handed batters than he has right-handed batters. His strikeout rate is up around 29% against LHBs so far this season. So if you figure he's going to work 6-7 innings in this game, which I think is entirely possible considering some of the bats the Giants don't have in their lineup tonight, I think there's a real good chance that he gets over 6.5 strikeouts.
James?
Yeah, it's kind of rough because Madison Bumgarner does have the capacity to hit over that 6 runs or that 6 strikeouts. I'm going to side with Darian on this one for all the reasons that he mentioned. I think that this Giants team, they are a little bit above average in terms of strikeout, especially over the last month. They do have some power. The only way that I can see Nola not getting over this prop is if he gets beat up through the first couple innings and doesn't make it through 6 or 7 innings like Darian had said. So in that being said, I think Aaron Nola goes through this pretty easily and gets through all those lefties and gets his strikeouts up through 6 or 7 innings. I can see both of them going over, though. So, I mean, if you wanted to take that and say that you're going to take both of them over 6.5, then I think that's just as feasible as just taking Nola over or just taking Bumgarner under.
Guys, we have run out of time because we spent the first 20 minutes talking about Morgan Freeman.
Not enough time, if you ask me.
No, it's not. But we do have much more on the way, including my conversation with Taylor Rogers.
Who's a twin that plays for the Twins.
It's like a Hollywood script.
It's pretty
What's going on, WWE Universe? It's your boy Kofi Kingston here, and SummerSlam is coming for you, baby! On August 11th, WWE Network will host the biggest event of the summer. WWE and DraftKings are teaming up again to bring you WWE SummerSlam Challenge. You think you can predict what's gonna happen? What's gonna go down at the WWE's hottest event? Here's your shot to get your share of $5,000 worth of prizes.
Here's how to play. First, channel all your previous knowledge about WWE and SummerSlam and answer 10 multiple choice questions about this summer's event. You're awarded 5 or 10 points depending on how difficult the question is. Then use that big brain to answer a bonus question worth 25 points. Rank 4 championship matches in the order you think they will happen. Get everything right and you're looking at a total of 100 points. Now you're probably thinking, there's no way anyone is as big a WWE fan as I am and also got a perfect score, right? Well, just in case, we got a tiebreaker for you. Estimate what will be the total time of the last match, bell to bell, in minutes and seconds, and set yourself apart from the crowd. You got right up until the start of SummerSlam to lock in your answers. So, test your knowledge of WWE's hottest event by playing SummerSlam Challenge on DraftKings.
All right, Emerson Lotzia back here on DraftKings is the Sweat, and riding shotgun with me right now, that's Minnesota Twins closer Taylor Rogers. What's up, guy?
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Dude, it's awesome to have you here. And just in case you haven't been paying attention, I mean, you're having one hell of a season right now, the best of your career since moving into the closer role. So what's it been like knowing this team is constantly counting on you to finish off the competition?
Man, it's cool. For them putting their trust in me, it's a blessing. And I just try to be ready every single day to come in and shut the game down for those guys. They work so hard the entire game to put the game in position for us to win, and I just wanted to do my best to make sure that the game stays in that position.
Yeah, you're thriving in those, high pressure situations. Popular opinion also, it holds that closers are a separate species of pitcher, a little quirky, maybe having a little bit of an edge. So how do you think you fit into that category?
Man, I'd like to think I'm one of the less quirkier closers out there,
yeah.
But I can kind of see how they get to be quirky. I mean, that's a little bit of a different pressure on you, in the last 3 outs of the game. But obviously being left-handed, I probably have some more quirks than usual as it is. So I'm sure they might be showing here soon.
Yeah, so you're like not the second coming here of Ricky Vaughn in Major League.
No, no. I'm sure my teammates would have a different answer for quirkiness, but I like to think I'm pretty normal.
By the way, he was a righty. I mean, you're a lefty. And Lefty Piece, the nickname you're going with for Players Weekend, where'd that come from?
Just because I kind of always have been the only left-hander down in the bullpen. And sometimes they'll call down, say, get the lefty piece going, to face this left-handed hitter. And that's kind of where it started.
Okay.
Get the lefty piece going.
Yeah, it kind of just stuck with you, huh?
Yeah, I like it. And then I tried to do Mr. Rogers, but that's a trademark infraction. Evidently.
Yeah. I would.
I can't use my own name.
I think I could see why there's a trademark on Mr. Rogers. Hey, when I was floating around on YouTube earlier, I saw a video of you clanging and banging in the Twins weight room. So you're buying into this 6-pack summer?
Got to be ready for the beach body. You never know when you're going to need it.
Yeah,
no.
I feel you, man.
No, that's been a big thing this year. Getting the weight room kind of tailored to my specific stuff, the way my body works and all that, and just very thankful to have that in place.
Yeah, don't forget to your sunscreen and SPF 30 at least. You probably needed a lot of that though when you were at the University of Kentucky. It gets hot out there. It's sunny. I mean, it's also a school ripe with superstar athletes. Who would you say is the best Wildcat to ever come out of UK here? And I'm talking any sport. And it doesn't have to be someone who is necessarily successful, at the professional level here. Just maybe a guy you look back and you're like, dude, he was really good at Kentucky.
Let's see. Well, all those basketball players, that's probably the easiest answer.
Yeah, I feel like basketball always comes to mind with this school. Always.
It does. You know what? I think what doesn't really come to mind is all the great coaches they've had there. Obviously, Calipari's there, but that Adolph Rupp and then Paul Bear Bryant was there. So maybe the coaching needs some love out of there.
Yeah, two very good coaches, legendary coaches. Anyone in baseball you think that you're like, wow, that guy was also pretty doggone good? What about like Brandon Webb, right? He was a Kentucky guy.
Yeah, Brandon Webb. That's a good one. That's really good. James Paxton's probably getting into that question as well.
All right, well, take us back to, let's go 2016, your big league debut. It was on April 14th. I mean, what was that moment like when you got the call, or was it just kind of like a text?
It was, let's see, the manager told me, and the manager I had in AAA at the time, he was a little bit different in the way he kind of communicated. So
how so?
The team was like, I was getting called up, just because they didn't have any other options, and stuff was going sideways, so you're going to go up there. And but really, when you hear that news, it doesn't really matter how you receive it. Just to get that news is the greatest feeling in the world. Then when you get here, everything's just larger. Everything's a larger scale, and you're constantly looking up and seeing how big the stadiums are and all that type of stuff. But it's kind of cliche, but it's a heck of a dream to come true.
Yeah, best feeling in the world. Then a couple days later, you were optioned back down to Rochester. So then you go back to like the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah, and I didn't even record a strikeout in my first outing. So I got optioned back. I'm like, I may never go back to the major leagues not having recorded a strikeout.
Yeah, well, whatever you're doing, it is apparently working, and the Twins are buying into it. And speaking of twins, you have a twin brother. I mean, Tyler in the Giants organization is at the AAA level right now. Unlike you, he is not a southpaw, but how excited are you for him to hopefully get the call up one day?
Man, I think I'm pulling for him more than he's pulling for himself. He hasn't worked any harder than I have, to get to this point. He hasn't done anything less or anything more than I have. So I'm totally rooting for him. It's a little tougher in his position because I feel bad sometimes because everybody just thinks since we're twins, we should be doing the same thing. And frankly, we've just had different paths. Sometimes you got to have a little bit of luck on your side to get called up as well, or, have a spot open. And he just hadn't seen that yet, but I'm pretty confident he's good enough to get to the majors and pitch well.
Tyler Sullivan here with your DraftKings Fantasy Flash. For the bulk of his career, LeBron James has had not one, but two stars alongside him while contending for NBA championships. In Miami, it was D. Wade and Chris Bosh, and in Cleveland, it was Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving aboard for that lone title. Now that LeBron James is in Los Angeles as a member of the Lakers, a new big three is forming. Of course, Anthony Davis is the number 2, but forward Kyle Kuzma is making a bid to be the number 3 star on the roster. Quote, "I don't feel no pressure, but I believe that I am capable of being that superstar," Kuzma told ESPN. Quote, "I put a lot of work in. My progress through my journey shows that I can be there. I developed every single year dating back to college, and I don't see that development stunting at all." Last season, Kuzma averaged 18.7 points and 5.5 rebounds a game. Those are solid numbers, but his three-point shooting did take a dip in efficiency from his rookie year, which is something that he'll need to drastically improve if he wants to be part of LA's new Big Three.
It is time to talk about a few dudes who can roll a good meatball. Yes, we are talking golf, and we are talking to Jeff Ulrich about golf. You're here to help us with Friday Showdown picks for the Northern Trust. He is ready to go.
I was just in case nobody told you what you were doing
Yes.
here. That is what we're doing.
I do like 5 sports, so it's actually good that you.
All right, yeah, humble brag, guy. There's a pat on the back. All right, let's start with Troy Merritt, who only plays one, but he's pretty good at it. Coming in hot, first following a 9 under 62 today, only 6,900 tomorrow. Do you expect him to keep it up, Jeff, in your expertise?
All right, Kaufman, enough with this. I mean, look, it's Troy Merritt we're talking about. He had a fantastic round today, gained over 4 strokes putting. You don't want to talk too bad about him because, I mean, he has been playing pretty well. Just about won the Barracuda Championship a couple weeks ago. But it's a player who takes advantage of weaker field events. He's not someone you'd expect to win a FedEx Cup playoff event. So you're going to see some regression from him at some point in the week. Now, he's only 6,900 and he's playing well, so I don't want to disparage him and say he's like the worst player or something. But there's other guys around him like Aaron Wise at 6,800. I would probably rather play. I think he's in play. You could consider him, but just realize at some point he's probably going to start spraying a little bit off the tee. and regress a little bit from first. So
I love that whole situation. Jeff covers 5 sports, and the guy on the top of the golf leaderboard sucks.
Hey, it's his honest professional opinion.
It's true.
For $3,500 more, yes, Brooks Koepka, who's still blasting officials about pace of play, as is Rory McIlroy. He's the most expensive player tomorrow, 10-4. He's 8 off the lead. Jeff, how much do you like his chances to climb the leaderboard?
I like it quite a bit. I mean, it was basically just he wasn't taking his putts today. The ball striking was fine. It wasn't like he fell apart or anything like that. He was really good off the tee. He had a couple wayward approaches, but nothing too terrible. Lost 3 strokes putting. I mean, it just happens. I mean, he's still 1 under. He wasn't terrible, like I said. He just didn't keep pace with the leaders. It was a softer course today. I think you'll see Brooks pick it up tomorrow. I don't expect him to miss a cut or anything like that. So I definitely like him for a bounce back. Like I said, everything is there in place. They just got to start sinking putts. He's not a must play because he's still really expensive, obviously, but I expect a bigger round from him tomorrow than 1 under. So,
did you see that? He played his opening 9 basically with no one on the course because fans couldn't come in until 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I didn't notice exactly why they did that, but I heard about it, and it was, I guess it was as ridiculous as it sounded that there was no one on the course to see them play. Maybe Brooks likes the attention, and that's why he sucked today. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
So there's no other way to put this, Jeff. Tiger Woods was awful today. The guy's 4 over, okay, tied for 116 out of, I think, about 120 maybe in this entire field. So good enough to second to last place, a tie for it anyway. I think maybe he can turn this thing around. Well, what about you?
No, this is a clear void for me. There were some reports coming out before the tournament that Tiger was struggling with his back issues again. He just described it as stiffness, but there was clear reports he was having trouble moving around, having trouble getting warmed up. He hasn't played since the Open Championship where he missed the cut. So the lack of playing time, the time off, and then he comes into an event where he's supposed to be rested, and there's reports of injury issues. And then he shoots 4 over, in the first round. Yeah, this is not a situation I would dabble in tomorrow at all. It really sucks, quite frankly, because we're also pumped to see the old Tiger back. But that win at Augusta might be the only one we get for a while here because the dude's dealing with something again. It sucks, but I wouldn't touch him in fantasy right now.
It's only 13 shots off the lead.
Yeah, and he was hardly taking full swings in his practice round on Wednesday, in the pro-am round that he was in. He cut it short, so that was not a good sign entering today. And turns out,
a lot of people following him around too.
Yes, yeah,
not seeing a good performance.
Still moves the needle though. Which player not in the top 20 do you think has a chance to make a big jump on Friday and should be rostered, Jeff?
Yeah, so I don't know about should be rostered, but Emiliano Grillo is a player I liked pre-tournament. He was 2 over today, but he basically just completely self-destructed on a couple holes with his putter. You know how you miss a putt and then you kind of just go and wave at it out of frustration? He basically did that 2 holes in a row. He took a triple and then a double. Yeah, it's something a guy would do on a Sunday when he golfs every once in a month.
Like Reed Fowler.
Anyways, a bit of an Argentine temper got to him today. Ball striking wise, he's top 15. He's been trending, strokes gain approach, everything. I do expect he'll turn it around. He still made a ton of birdies today, even to finish at 2 over. I really, like I said, everything else looks good. He's just kind of got to get his head on straight. Louis Oosthuizen, my boy, played pretty good today, 4th in strokes gain approach. I don't hate rostering him for round 2 either, but I think Grillo is the guy that I would be most enthused about seeing run up the leaderboard tomorrow.
Okay, but you still are saying maybe he should not be rostered. I was asking who should.
Look, he's
come on, man.
It's hot lava, man. I don't know. You can catch him and maybe it'll feel good. I don't know. It could turn ugly. I'm not gonna lie. It turned ugly today, but everything is there. He is playing well just outside of this one round. So, in all seriousness, I do think that for a round 2 bounce back, you'll probably see him, like I said, rack up some more birdies tomorrow. It's just, can you avoid those bad numbers?
Okay. Jeff, we're a quarter of the way through this thing, so you have informed analysis. Slate-approved pick. Who's going to win the Northern Trust after what you saw today?
I like Tony Finau. I actually really liked him before, and it's too bad Reed's not here to talk about
Yeah, right?
I liked him pre-event. I really felt like this course was going to set up well for him. It's back on bent grass. He opened really well today. Good with the putter, too, not just the ball striking, which is a really good sign for Tony Finau. So 6 under, a few shots back, but really good position. I think Tony Finau, hopefully, first big win here.
Yeah, 3 shots back of merit right now.
Jeff, we'll talk more preseason football with you and the guys, trying to see who's going to put up the most points tonight after this.
Tyler Sullivan here with your DraftKings Fantasy Flash. Duke Johnson is finally getting his wish and is no longer a member of the Browns. On Thursday, Cleveland shipped the pass-catching back to the Houston Texans, reportedly in exchange for a 2020 fourth-round pick, which can be elevated to a third-rounder. The Texans were in need of a backup running back to complement Lamar Miller after waiving former third-round pick Dante Foreman earlier in camp. Now they're adding another weapon to put in the backfield for quarterback Deshaun Watson. For Johnson, his end in Cleveland isn't much of a surprise. He's demanded a trade for quite some time. The Browns brass publicly stated that they wanted to keep him, but have appeared to have changed course. With him out of the picture and Kareem Hunt suspended for the first half of the season, Nick Chubb now is primed to be the workhorse back in Cleveland. Meanwhile, Johnson gives the Texans a back who caught 47 balls in 2018, totaled 630 yards from scrimmage, and 3 touchdowns.
We are back, and we are not alone.
Nope.
Emerson, Adam, and, 20 minutes left, and we've got company here, so let's bring this crew in. Jeff Ulrich is right back. It's not just golf. He does so much more. Matt LaMarca as well, and Pierce Dietrich. You can see them all. I don't need to keep talking about them. Gentlemen, part 2 of the NFL Take Your Pick, seeing who you like the most to put up fantasy points tonight ahead of a loaded preseason slate. Got a lot of action.
Yes, we do. And a couple rookie receivers looking to impress. Cardinals' Keyshawn Johnson and Preston Williams of the Dolphins, both pulling in a lot of hype. A lot of people getting fired up for these guys based on their performances in training camp
Haven't even played a game.
What's that?
Haven't even played a game.
No, have not. Yeah, so I probably
Practice
wouldn't
MVPs.
read too much into the hype. But who do you like more as a fantasy play tonight, Pierce?
We have to read into it. I mean, what else are we going to look at? We don't have any history for these guys, so we're looking at...
Sorry, dude. Doesn't do it for me. It's called practice. We're talking about practice.
Well, the guy looks like a practice all-star. I mean...
Great. Right. Maybe that's the next sport on DraftKings. Practice all-star. I'll roster him.
I think in preseason, it's the thing. He was supposed to be a second or third-round pick, but he had some issues. But in practice... They say he looks like an all-star. He's someday going to be a number 1 wide receiver.
Ooh.
Look, I mean, that's what they're saying after watching practice. He looks really good, but he's also in a really good spot. He's got 2 experienced quarterbacks that are going to throw to him. No one else really is going to have 2 really good quarterbacks, both of which are fighting for a job. He'll probably have more of Josh Rosen passing to him, and he's been Josh Rosen's favorite target in practice.
Oh, right. Matt, do you agree? Is he a practice all-star?
Thanks for fixing your shade, by the way.
No problem.
You really did.
Yeah, he did. It's not crooked anymore.
I'm going with Keyshawn Johnson. First off, great name. Great name.
Great name.
Yeah.
Right?
Great name.
Keyshawn Johnson, wide receiver.
Spells
Sign
it
me
wrong.
up for that. But secondly, I'm just buying the Cardinals' offense in volume here. I believe in the air raid. I mean, all the analytics say that passing is better than running. And if the Cardinals are really going to be bringing that offense into the league and they're going to really only run the ball when the defense is sort of daring them to do so, I think it's going to be incredibly successful. And I would love to see it executed tonight against third-string defenders who are probably going to end up on practice squads. So give me Keyshawn Johnson. Just throw him the damn ball.
Practice squads are okay. Practice is fine. You could be a practice squad all-star in the eyes of Pierce Dietrich. But Jeff,
got to read something.
Jeff, between these two, who do you like to roster tonight?
I'll side with Preston Williams too. I mean, he's the more physical specimen too, just a better athlete. I mean, 6'4", big, sub 4.5 guy. He works well with Rosen. I think Pierce made a good point too. He's got a good backup quarterback to work with. I like Keyshawn Johnson too. The little slight problem with him is he does have a busier wide receiver roster to work through. Andy Isabella's back from injury. He's probably going to play tonight. They drafted a couple, like another rookie. So it's a little bit more crowded spot for Keyshawn Johnson. I think people realize, Kevin White is still there. I just think that Preston Williams is going to get more chances here. I mean, there's a banged up depth chart in front of him. So I do like both of them. I think they're both in play tonight for sure, but give me Preston Williams.
All right, let's look at a couple other wideouts looking to make a splash. You got Jake Kumaro, the Packers. Aaron Rodgers has been raving about this guy. And the Patriots' N'Keal Harry, who I feel a little funny asking you this question because I don't think he's going to play tonight. But nevertheless, if you had to choose between these guys in the event that maybe he did, Matt, who do you got?
Yeah, I mean, if we're picking a Patriots rookie, I think it's got to be Jacoby Myers, right? I mean, he's the guy who's gotten all of the love from the Patriots beat reporter, so I know Pierce is probably all over him right now. He's, even getting some reps with Brady and the first teamer. So if I'm playing a Pat, that's the way that I'm going. But the answer for me here is Kumaro. Just if you look at athletically, he's always been kind of a freak in that department. He played college at a really small school, went undrafted, but he's hung around because the dude is a freak. So I'm excited to see him get some opportunities. He kind of flashed when given a chance last season with the Packers. So I'm excited to see what he's got.
All right, so Kumaro or again Harry, and there are mixed reports out there among the Patriots beat writers in Detroit as to whether Harry is going to play in this one. Early reports were no. Recent reports are looks like he might. So that's what you have to go off of. What do you think, Pierce?
I'm not going to blame if it's he might. Tell me, Emerson, the scrimmage count. Can we count scrimmages?
Scrimmage all-stars.
I'm fine with scrimmages.
Joint practice all-stars.
Yeah.
So he made some big plays in the Green Bay, or Kumaro made some big plays in their family night scrimmage. And going back to the early narrative, if we're not going to get a lot of reps from a lot of these guys, it just comes down to making big plays. If he made some big plays in scrimmage, maybe he can have a repeat performance. Has a good rapport with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know how many plays he's going to really get on the field with Aaron Rodgers. But I think you have to go with Kumaro because we know he's going to play.
I mean, if you can perform in a scrimmage with families watching, kids, moms and dads, maybe even your own family, then yes.
Hey, the Raiders had Guy Fieri there, man. That's pressure.
Yes, that
Fire.
was. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
All right, Jeff, what do you think? May as well let you have a say.
I mean, gee, thanks.
Sure.
Harry is warming up. Even if he does play, he can't get. He's not going to play like a full complement of snaps. So. I think what Matt brought up about Jacoby Myers is a good point. If you are going to play a Patriots wide receiver, go to him. But
with Brian Hoyer.
I'm actually not that interested because Brian Hoyer sucks. So just give me Kumaro.
Jarrett Stidham could get a big look, though. That's another scrimmage all-star that we've seen so far this preseason.
Love talking about scrimmage all-stars. How about a couple rookie tight ends, though? Teammates last year at Iowa, both first-round picks back in April. First time in NFL history, 2 tight ends from the same school were taken in the first round. We got Broncos' Noah Fant and the Lions' T.J. Hawkinson. So which one is your top option, Jeff?
I'd go Fant here. I mean, or Fant, sorry.
I think it might be Fant.
Whichever you prefer.
First-round pick, oh, shush. But the Lions they didn't use the tight end much last year, and I don't know how much that's going to change just with T.J. Hawkinson. At least we know Fant is in a good situation. We saw him get worked in the first preseason game, so there's actually a little bit of history here. He's extremely athletic. I mean, this guy is someone who could shoot up draft boards quickly if he does flash. I definitely take him over Hawkinson tonight.
Pierce, I mean, tomato, potato here. Doesn't matter how you say his name.
I'm not sure that works.
Well, so I just won't say his name. I think the Lions, maybe they didn't use the tight end last year, but maybe that's because they didn't have the personnel. You look at Matt Patricia, he does have a history with tight ends when he was at New England. He now has a first-round pick. So I think they're going to go to Hawkinson a little bit more. And can we count training camp? Is training camp another way of saying he looked good in training camp?
He's got to make the final roster, and just talk to me after week 1 in the regular season.
He's the first couple weeks of training camp all-star.
Everything you see right now, nothing matters, okay? Nothing matters. Matt, talk to me here.
Well, I feel pretty good that both of these guys are going to make the final 53s, considering they were first-round picks. But I'll go with Hawk as well. All the reports on him in camp have been good. Rookie tight end, really hard position for a rookie to make an impact. So I might shy away from both of these guys, to be honest. I mentioned Mo Alley Cox earlier. I think he's my favorite tight end on the slate, considering we've got no Ebron, no Jack Doyle tonight. I think he's going to get a lot of snaps at tight end, but forced to choose between the rookies, I'll go with Hawk.
All right, slate approved pick time, guys. We need a lock for this week's 1 preseason slate. Of course, the games tonight. Don't worry about Friday and so forth. What do you think here, Pierce?
Preston Williams, he's got the college career, he's got he checks the boxes physically, and he has decent quarterbacks throwing him the ball.
The all-stariest of the all-stars. Maddie?
I'm going with Trace McSorley. I just like what he brings to the table athletically for a team that has historically tried hard to win preseason games.
And saving the last for last, Jeff.
Give me pocket change. Jeremy McNichols, running back on the Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
All right.
Very good.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for your help. Pierce, you go and study family night scrimmage stats. Enjoy that, partner. We're going to wrap up the show with MLB Tiers of Joy next, right after this healthy UFC dose from Pat Mayo.
Geez, she's so much better than everybody else in the division that why can't she just blast you in the head with a kick? Why can't she, touch you up over the course of 25? Why can't she, force a desperate Carmouche to make a mistake and then submit her on the ground? Like, why can't she do those things? I don't know. So that's where it becomes a little bit more. I'm full greens with you, though. DK, $9,600, no chance. If I was a Carmouche supporter, how could I not pass on the 66? But again, I'm not a Carmouche believer.
Too. It's like we're talking about, like, if you're making like a single bullet, you're making a couple lineups, you can avoid this fight. If you're max entering things, you're gonna have 25%. You may have an underweight position on this type of fight. We're trying to help. You're making 150 lineups. You're not gonna completely fade this. You would
But we're trying to give people the pieces to build a lineup.
Exactly.
And for a lineup, maybe Shevchenko's a little bit overpriced. Even though I think we're in full agreement that she's probably going to win this fight.
She can totally score. She can totally be the highest scorer on this card. I'm just going to be spending my DK dollars elsewhere.
We've got one more segment. Can you believe it? One more with our baseball crew. Julian Edlow's back.
Oh.
I know. He's been talking a lot today. Gary and Thorne.
Oh.
That's exciting. James McCool as well. Don't worry, no sadness here, but it is time for Tears of Joy. Maybe some sadness. The show is almost over.
Yeah, that's not really bothering me. As we have discussed, both of us hope to be in bed, not together, but by 8 o'clock tonight.
Night's young.
We are checking out tonight's Tiers contest, and Tier 1 has Mike Trout at Fenway. It's the only American League ballpark I guess he has never hit a home run in.
It's never happened.
What?
278 career homers, I think it is. He's never homered at Fenway.
Intimidated by the Green Monster, huh? So
we'll find out.
He is in the tier with Nelson Cruz, Freddie Freeman, Ronald Acuna Jr. Who is your favorite, Mr. McCool?
It's got to be Mike Trout. I think it's between Mike Trout and Ronald Acuna Jr. I think that Ronald Acuna Jr. has the better matchup by far, but is playing in way worse of a park. They've both been equally on fire here. Mike Trout has been stealing less bases than Acuna. Obviously, he's got 12 steals out of his last 14 games, so that's important to think about in this spot. But I just think that, like you just mentioned, he hasn't homered in this park yet, and he is, just about to break his own record for most home runs in 1 year for himself. So I think that he's so hot right now, and he's going up against a lefty in Chris Sale, who we know has been giving up a lot of runs this year, even if he's getting a lot of strikeouts. But Trout doesn't strike out, so I'm going to go with the best player in baseball and go with Mike Trout.
Gary Bear, you going best player in baseball as well?
It's hard to say no, but I'm going to go with Nelson Cruz. I mean, generally speaking, Cruz is someone who you would think you have to get in a matchup with a left-handed pitcher. And Mike Clevenger's been fantastic when he's been healthy this season. But if there has been an area he's struggled, it's pitching on the road. And this game is in Minnesota. And really surprising to me, but Cruz has been the best hitter in baseball when it comes to 95-plus mile-per-hour fastballs from right-handed pitchers, which is something Clevenger is very capable of throwing, usually sitting at 96, 97. His expected WOBA against that particular pitch is 644. It's 100 points higher than any other qualified hitter in baseball. I just think this is a really good spot for Cruz, and no one is going to use him tonight, so it's a bit of a variance play, too.
Okay, Jules, take your pick.
Yeah, I like Garian's idea of going contrarian here, and I guess I hope that maybe some people lay off Mike Trout because of the Chris Sale matchup, but I'm just having too tough of a time getting off Trout here. He's been on fire lately. He's got 18 and 24 DK points in each of his last 2 games. Chris Sale stinks, and I guess I'll play into the narrative of him not hitting a home run at Fenway Park before, so he's due to hit one here. It's a great place for righty bats to hit home runs off lefties, so why not?
Since we're talking about the Red Sox game, let's talk about the Red Sox. Tier 2 features 3 of my most favorite players, Garian. Rafael Devers, Sander Bogarts, and J.D. Martinez. DJ LeMahieu's in there too, but really, who cares about him? Who do you like?
I like one of your beloved Red Sox.
Yeah,
Kaufman.
there it is.
J.D. Martinez, look, everyone's going to say he's been slumping this year and he hasn't been himself, but he is number 1 in expected WOBA against left-handed pitching this season. The only player with an expected WOBA above 500 against southpaws. If you ever give me J.D. Martinez, with a lefty on the mound, I'm going to take JD Martinez. So I think he's the obvious play here.
Jules?
Yeah, I kind of like both of those Red Sox righty bats, but Kaufman's confidence in them kind of has me fading them now. So I'm going to go DJ LeMahieu leading off. Real high run projection against the Toronto Blue Jays. Yankees offense has been hot lately. He opens up in a righty-lefty matchup there. LeMahieu has just been the guy all season, the most consistent weapon in that Yankees offense, and this is another spot where the offense should have a big night, so LeMahieu should play a big role in that.
And after I encouraged people earlier today to follow Julian on Twitter, too. James, what do you think?
You are responsible for giving me 14 Twitter followers. I appreciate that, Carl.
Sympathy is a beautiful thing.
We'll save time for like all the analytics and stuff a little later.
Yeah, I'm sure there are metrics behind that. James, thoughts?
Am I allowed to agree with both of these guys?
Oh, it hurts.
I like both JD Martinez and DJ LeMahieu quite a bit.
But if you had to
JD
pick
Martinez, not only does he have a 543 xWOBA against lefties over the last month, but he's also got an 850 x slug, which is the highest mark on this slate in split of anybody with more than 100 plate appearances. So JD Martinez, I guess, gets a little bit of a lean. I do love the Yankees today, though, and DJ LeMahieu is going to be somebody who I think you should focus on a lot. So, like, flip a coin. You know, I guess I lean JD Martinez.
Julian, out of the 14 Twitter followers you received today, were any of them actually Adam, though?
No, Kaufman will never follow any of us, which is why we can keep being mean to him.
I'll tell you
I
what,
like you, Julian.
You can be mean to me even if I do follow you.
Okay, all right, here we go, guys.
I enjoy
Probably time for one more tier. So 6 guys in tier 3, including Mookie Betts, Andrew Benintendi. Gary's just probably hating life right now.
The Red Sox.
Mike Trout, Josh Donaldson are in there as well. So who's in the best spot to succeed? Jules.
Yeah, a lot of Red Sox in these tiers here. I can't pass up on Mookie Betts here, though, in the leadoff role. I know I've been crapping on Chris Sale and crapping on the Red Sox the whole time, but the Angels have also been just brutal lately, and you get that leadoff spot for Mookie at Fenway in the opposite-hand matchup. Too good to pass up there.
James, what do you think?
I think I have to go with Josh Donaldson here. And this is a bit of an off-the-wall pick, but he's got one of the highest expected home run per plate appearance numbers right now in his recent form. He's been destroying the ball. He's really good in the split, 560x slugging percentage and 412x WOBA, and Alicia Hernandez has the highest expected home run rate, according to my numbers on this slate. So, I mean, Josh Donaldson, who is going to be hitting in both Ozzie Albies and Ronald Acuna Jr., I just think he's in a really good spot to crush.
Thorne, what are the chances you're going with someone inside Fenway Park tonight?
No, I'm going to go with someone inside Rogers Center. Mike Kaufman. I know it's left on left, so maybe this is another variance play, but he really hasn't had trouble inside those left on left matchups so far this season. And when you look at what the Jays are putting out there in terms of pitching tonight, you've got Thomas Pannone, who has struggled mightily as a starter. And then if anyone else on this set can name a Jays reliever that isn't Ken Giles, who will not pitch tonight because he doesn't pitch in back-to-back games, this is a team that just traded Joe Biagini, David Phelps, and Daniel Hudson. They have no major league caliber relievers scheduled to throw tonight. I think the Yankees can put up some serious runs.
Julian, I just looked. It's 18 followers. Finally, Tier 4, Max Kepler, Carlos Santana, Anthony Rizzo, Aaron Judge, many more. Who are you going with, James?
Oh, Aaron Judge. Like, not even close in this one for me. The only guy that kind of comes close is going to be Cameron Maybin, and it's just like, Garion just said it. I mean, this is a little bit of a hot take, I think, but as bad as the Orioles bullpen has been and as bad as the Orioles have been as a pitching staff, I think that the Blue Jays are going to kind of push them through the end of the year. They traded away everybody that matters in their pitching staff. Like, they don't have Stroman anymore, so they're missing that guy. And one less decent arm in their starters means that they're going to have to go to the bullpen more often where they don't have MLB caliber pitchers. So, I mean, I think the Blue Jays are going to be one of the worst pitching staffs in the league to finish out the year. So anytime that I can take somebody on the Yankees, especially someone like Aaron Judge, who hasn't had a lot of success recently, but the numbers are still there for him to have the success. He's just been really unlucky. Like, he could explode tonight.
All right, we got about 10 seconds for each of you. Garion.
Yeah, the Jays suck.
Good.
So I'm going to go there and Judge.
Julian.
Judge.
All right, Jules, hit us with the slate-approved pick now.
Guess what? I am going to go with the Red Sox bat here. Sam Travis. You look at the rest of these guys, they're like $2,000 more than him, and you got Sam Travis hitting 5th in that lineup. Give me Sam Travis for all those savings.
Faster.
Garion.
I'm going to take Jonathan Gray.
James.
Matthew Boyd.
All right, now we still have 10 seconds to fill.
I think we can handle that. We're just going to stare at the camera as it goes side by side. Talk to you tomorrow, 6 p.m. Bye.